All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Launch Pad. My name is Jessica, and today I am joined by Contra.
Yo, hello there.
You were just named one of our 2025 Rising Stars for moon landing. So we wanted to go ahead and show people who you are.
Yeah, totally.
So to start with, how did you choose your artist name?
So Contra was basically I am Jewish, so I went on a birthright out to Israel. Probably like it was a while ago now. It was about 10 years ago. But yeah, actually one of the guys on the trip with us, like for a living, he named businesses and like corporations. And I don't know, I didn't know that was a job before that. Yeah, I was like sitting next to him, and like at the time I needed a new name, and like that was like the first word that he spit out when I kind of explained my project and like what I was going for, and yeah, he just suggested Contra. I'm like, ooh, that's a pretty solid one. Um, so yeah, I actually added a scandal to it for a while. That's kind of another story. So I was Contra Scandal for a bit. At the time I was making like tear out music, surprisingly, and wanted to do something edgy. So me and I guess my manager at the time, like he was super into history and like thought that would be kind of cool to have like some historical thing attached to it. So we went with like the Iran Contra scandal, but as I matured and my music matured and I realized I don't care about history and I don't want to shade with anything like negative, I just decided to like kind of shorten it to Contra. So
Awesome.
nice, neat, easy for people to remember, hopefully. So
Right. Yeah. So what originally got you into dubstep? Was there like a specific song or a specific artist that was like, oh, this is what I like?
um it all kind of goes back to when I first started out in college, out in Chico, California. I actually never even heard of like much electronic music in high school, surprisingly. So it was like until I graduated. But yeah, I remember just browsing on LimeWire at the time and like looking up just all these I think I had like a compilation that I got from what was the God, I'm having a blank. So yeah, basically just on LimeWire, looking at random artists. I remember coming across Caspa and Rusko in their Fabric Live 37 mix. So looked up all those songs and then looked up some Scream. I remember Freak Nasty was another artist I got really into. Bass Nectar at the time was a big influence. Obviously not so much now. But yeah, just browsing LimeWire, just kind of going through the rabbit hole. And then yeah, one of my friends kind of like pushed me to start DJing. And he recommended some gear and I ended up getting a Newmark NS7 controller, this gigantic thing. Super inconvenient for playing these house parties, just so heavy. But yeah, just kind of started there back in 2000. I think it was like 2009 when I started DJing. So or 2009, 2010, around then, something like that.
So did you learn on your own or did you have someone teach you or is it like a bit of both?
Um, yeah, a lot of it. It's yeah, just mostly on my own. Like, I remember back in the day, I kind of just tried a few different free trials of these various DAWs to see which one stuck. And yeah, Logic kind of just worked for me in my brain. Like the layout was really pretty, just kind of made sense. And then at the time, there weren't many tutorials. There were like it was really hard to find information. So a lot of it was just like trial and error, which was very tedious and probably why it's taken me so long to get like half decent at this thing. Um, but yeah, you could look up like old blogs and stuff. Sometimes in magazines they'd have information, but you really have to dig back in the day. Um, but yeah, that's kind of how it started. Yeah.
Do you still use Logic or have you switched DAWs?
Yeah, I still use Logic. I've been wanting to switch over to other DAWs, like, obviously everyone's on Ableton, so I really invested in trying that out and wanting to switch over. I remember I was over at my parents' house for about 2 weeks and I like locked myself in their basement and just forced myself to learn it. And I made one song with it, but I don't know, it doesn't click with my brain. I don't like how it like visually look. I don't know. I'm a big visual guy. Like that's kind of how I before music. I was like an artist and I don't know, I just like aesthetics, I guess. And Ableton just does not look great to me and I don't like the skills. The tools are amazing and like but it's just I need something that's gonna get me excited to, get to my computer. I also tried Bitwig for a bit too, because that just seems to be the most superior DAW for creating electronic music from at least from my research. Made one song with that, but once again, it's just I don't know. I've just been in Logic for so long and I'm just so quick with it. So I'm probably gonna stick with it, I think. But I do use
Right.
it occasionally. I'll use it for like certain stuff here and there, like time warping and pitch shifting and stuff, but mostly Logic. Sorry, that was a very long response.
So you've been doing this for a while now. Like, what keeps you inspired to create music?
Um, Traveling's a big one. Going to shows. I mean, I live out here in Denver, Colorado, so I might even go to a show tonight at Cervantes. Stylist and Secret Recipe are playing, so I might pop in there. But yeah, just living in Denver, it's crazy the amount of inspiration I've got, and just like all my friends are really into music, and they'll introduce me to stuff. I also listen to a lot of like reggae music. I find that comes out in my music quite a bit, especially with like the percussion and stuff. Um, and yeah, those are probably the main influences, I'd say.
Awesome. And if someone hasn't heard any of your tracks before, are there like a couple that you usually recommend to people?
I'd probably have to say the Widdler collab if I'm trying to flex. No, just I'm really proud of that one. Like Widdler's like one of my main inspirations, so I'm really happy about like happy to work with that guy and really stoked on how it came out. I think a tune that like best probably represents my style would be my I really like doing collabs, as you can tell, but one with Murillo, it's called Kanha Tiger, came out on Odyzey. But that one really encapsulates like my world music love and then has some like reggae elements to it. There's some like a little bit of hip hop, like funk vocals and like some female vocals, which I really love to add in my music. So probably that one I'd say.
So you like collaborating with people who, if you could collaborate with anyone, like it could be a producer, a singer, like a someone who plays an instrument, like if you could do any track with anybody, who would that be?
I feel like I'm kind of at the point where I've got to produce with a lot of my favorite producers like in the scene. So I don't know, I'm kind of like gearing towards working more so with like vocalists and stuff or like people that play instruments. One that comes to mind is like Saint Sinner. I don't know, I just love her voice and she does like some electronic music work. I know with Tycho, she put out an EP a few years ago. She just has a beautiful, soft voice. It's very unique. Also, this girl Yuthi, she's from France. My friend just showed me her recently. I just fell in love. It was like my top three most played artists on Spotify. But she has like this reggae world sound to her music, and she plays a bunch of instruments like trumpet, flute, and accordion, I think. And then I think she's producing as well. But yeah, she's just insane. I love her style. Also been wanting to work with like some more MCs. So like Logan would be sick, Rico Dan, Jamakabi, and then yeah, that's about it, I think for now.
Those would make for some awesome tracks. So you've played a lot of shows and festivals like throughout your career. Are there any that are on your list still that you're like, I would love to play that festival?
Yeah, for sure, Shambhala. That's like my number one. I fell in love with that place. It's like a lot of people, right? And a lot of artists, that's their like one of their number one goals. But yeah, it's just such a vibe. People are awesome there. The venue's incredible. All the stages are just beautiful, and then like the sound just bump in with all the PK rigs. So Shambhala would be one. Infrasound for sure. Hoping to lock that in this year. We'll see. I think Base Coast would be sick too. And yeah, I don't know. Those would be pretty neat, I think. I love playing like festivals. Those are definitely my favorite audience to perform to for sure.
right? Are there any like venues across like the country or either like outside of the country that are on your list? So I know like we have the Black Box here in Denver, and that venue is just amazing. The sound in there, incredible. So it's hard to top, but like, are there any others on your list?
Yeah, venues in America or in Canada or just in general or
In the US or anywhere else?
yeah, the one I think it's called Flash, right? In DC. That one seems really dope. Supposedly it's has like an insane sound system. A lot of people are saying it's better than the Black Box, which seems
Wow.
yeah, Black Box is great, obviously. So it's quite a statement. That one's yeah, that one's been on my mind for a while.
You've been doing this for a while, like around like 10 years or so now, right?
Mm. Yeah, it's been a bit longer. I'm at 14 years. Um
Wow.
15 years producing and then like 15 years DJing. Started DJing like a year before producing. So yeah, it's been a minute for sure.
So you've probably had some memorable moments like throughout that time. Are there like a couple that stand out to you that you're like, wow, like this is crazy?
Recently I got to perform with Chef War Beats. I wasn't actually playing on stage, but I jumped up on stage. We got to share our tune Night Lurker. So that was sick at Red Rocks. That was very memorable. Just super surreal. Then collaborating with the Widdler was a big milestone for me. Another big idol of mine is Pushloop, and I opened up for him at the Black Box maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he had me jump on stage for a back to back, which is just super fun. So I think those are probably my favorites that stick out.
So do you have any like advice for people who might just be starting out? Like what are some things you've learned along the way that you're like, I wish somebody would have told me this?
It's really just like watch as many tutorials as you can. I don't know. It's pretty simple, but yeah, watch a lot of tutorials and try to get in the studio every day, even if it's like organizing your library or downloading splice samples. I think it's really important just to, consistently show up. I also think referencing songs can be super helpful too. So just dragging and dropping like some artists that you enjoy, although it might be quite painful, like if it's certain artists, like Skrillex or something, like um, you know, that's it kind of hurts and stings. Maybe someone like a little bit more low caliber that's actually a realistic goal. But yeah, just pulling up this plugin called Span and just like monitoring and looking at the two levels to make sure everything's similar frequencies. And it could really help like structure wise. So I'd say referencing is great too, yeah, along with tutorials and education. I think it could probably help to get a mentor too, or just get information directly from like an artist that you enjoy. I found at least even for me in a few lessons I've done, or just like tuning in Twitch and some of my favorite streams, just seeing their process has been like super beneficial.
What
Yeah.
are some goals for your project that you haven't crossed off your list yet?
Goals. Definitely playing Shambhala. That's
Of course.
I'd like to release a EP with Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. That would be sick. I've done a few of the monthly subscriber things, but I definitely want to lock that down. And yeah, playing out in Europe would be sick too. Like Outlook Festival. I didn't mention that one. I forgot. Outlook. Um, so yeah, I think those are some of the goals there.
And what about specifically for this year, for 2025? Like, what do you have coming up so far that you can tell us? Like, I know some stuff probably hasn't been announced yet, but like, what's on the horizon for you?
Yeah, so in terms of releases, it's gonna be a big year. I'm sitting on a ton of music. I think I have like about 30 songs and then I have a bunch of whips too. And then besides that, we're organizing me and Saturna did an EP with What I Can Do and Evoke, or the What I Can Do EP. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a remix EP with some of our favorite artists. So we're gonna release that in a month. And then we're also gonna do another remix EP of Night Lurker too. We're still getting that together, but really looking forward to those. At the end of the month, I have a release on Dead Beats with Mythm's album, so I'm doing a remix for him. And then I'm going to be releasing an album. Yeah, just I don't know, a ton of different releases there. And yeah, I just signed with Submission recently, which is really exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing where Tyler can take me and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and I know you announced that you were playing the UNTS festival again at the end of last year. Do you have any other like festivals on the horizon or any shows, tours, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm playing we're kind of just like pitching right as we speak. But I will be playing Wicked Woods out in Canada. That'll be like my second time ever playing out in Canada, which will be great. Or just out of the country in general. Um, yeah, Uns obviously. I think that's it for Fest, right? There might be one other. God, I should know this information, right?
You're like, I just show up where they send me.
Um, but yeah, those are the two festivals that come to mind. What was the rest of the question? Sorry.
But if you have any tours or like any other just shows, like one-off kind of things.
No tours at the moment. We are trying to, yeah, I mean, I just got this agent, like we signed, officially a couple days ago. So yeah, it's in its infancy stages for this year in terms of the bookings, but yeah, nothing like totally planned yet, but
For sure.
hopefully.
Definitely got to establish everything first. What about hobbies outside of music? Like, what do you do when you're not producing or going to shows?
I've been making a point to get a lot of exercise. I find that I can't really produce good music if I'm not active. So even like before, every time I'm hit the studio, I go to the gym. It's almost like a daily thing now. And yeah, I feel very anxious if I'm just at the desk and I haven't moved. So I just need to, break a sweat and stuff. I like snowboarding a lot. I try to go like once a week generally. I did have an injury to my arm at the gym actually. I tore my pec muscle, so it's been a while. Had to take a while off from snowboarding, but yeah, just getting back into it. Went yesterday, and ideally trying to go like every week from now on. I'll do some dirt biking every now and then. Obviously, not right now because Denver is just super cold. Been getting into the ice plunges a lot recently.
Oh no. Like doing them in like an ice bath or like going into one of these frozen lakes or rivers in Denver.
Oh, I haven't tried that. That'd be kind of fun. I have done some outdoor stuff, but not here in Denver. That'd be gnarly. I do have a like a big old tub in my backyard that I jump in. Right now it's pretty frozen over, but yeah, it's nice. It's a good like if I'm ever feeling a bit sluggish in the studio, I'll jump in there if I'm going out for the night. Might even take one tonight. We'll see. But yeah, it's been life changing. The cold therapy stuff. So and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my life. It's pretty simple nowadays, I feel like.
Snowboard, ice plunges, gym, produce.
Pretty much, for sure.
Sounds like a pretty good routine to me. So I'm guessing you have like an icon pass or an epic pass or like one of those if you're going snowboarding frequently.
Yeah, I have a Keystone Pass. So, do you live out here in Colorado? I should have asked that before, but
Yeah, I live in Denver.
oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I go to Keystone. Got the Keystone Plus Pass, I think. So it was like the cheapest one. It was like $400. So, and it's like an hour away, which is nice from my house. And yeah, all my friends got it, so it's a big reason. Yeah, it's just a fun mountain. I guess it has like the longest run in North America, my friend was saying or something. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, it's definitely it's a lengthy mountain.
I believe it. As long as
Mhm.
you don't get stuck on the ski lift. Like I saw people just had that happen like up in Winter Park or somewhere like in Colorado. So as long as that doesn't happen. Those were all my main questions I had for you. Was there anything else that you wanted to share with any of our listeners?
Follow me on socials. No. Yeah, I guess so. I could just plug my socials like Instagram's contra.slaps. And then I don't know the other ones by memory, but I'm sure you could find me if you look me up. I
Right, yeah,
also
we'll add them to the video.
and then yeah, I mean we kind of went over it. I wanted to like plug the new remix EPs that are coming out. So yeah, we're doing that. We're doing the What I Can Do remix EP next month with Gradient Perspective, and yeah, we're looking forward to that one. We got some Kilas that did added their own flavor to the tunes, and they're sounding really sick. So very stoked on that.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking some time to join us today on the Launchpad. Again, I'm Jessica, and this has been Contra. So be sure to follow him on all of his socials, and if he comes to your town, go check him out.
Sweet. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.